lost the toss and been inserted on a new surface today. So that's one thing to watch. As we get just about ready for action. Jamal Smith alongside me. Jamal, exciting times for these four teams.
Yeah, most certainly. Semi-final clash, always very, very interesting. The cream of the crop, as it were, certainly in this first edition of the Dream 11 BIM T10 tournament. So hoping for a wonderful spectacle here today. Two teams fairly well padded, both batting and bowling, and to be fair, that's why they're in the semi-finals, because they have been playing well.
Well, indeed. And then you look at the series score between these two teams, 1-1. So really winner takes all for these two. And it's a fresh pitch as well.
Yeah, even Stevens, most certainly. Nothing to separate the two teams, and not even the surface. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes.
Looks a pretty flat deck, so it could be very high scoring. You've got that smaller side to deal with as well. So it will be tough going, but Jair McAllister with the new ball in hand. He's been a standout for this team with the ball. It's ball number 1 of the semi-finals. Here we go. First one on the money. Now, Cheyenne Brathwaite and Odin McCarthy yesterday for the Pelicans team, Jamal, a team that have been in red hot form. They chased down 77 runs without losing a wicket.
Yeah, they were on fire yesterday, greeting me back to the island. With some lovely stroke play. We came straight from the airport. Had a look at these two. They really went well.
We'll scamper through for 1 and get there. Brathwaite has been very important as well for this team, because now 3 times in the tournament he's actually carried his bat throughout the innings. So that has been interesting to see.
Yeah, interesting feature has been Brathwaite. He struggled at times, to my mind, looking to hit the ball too hard there again, evidenced by that delivery just having a wipe. But he's been able to keep his wicket, and with the likes of Prasad, especially Ravindra Prasad coming in and obviously adding the impetus as we see there. I did predict, Nikhil, in this tournament that he will break a bat or two, and it seems that he's broken that one. As I said, he looks to go very, very hard and doesn't always time deliveries well, but what he's managed to do somehow is keep his wicket, at least operate just about 100-120 strike rate, and kept his team in the dance, as we would say. So you have to say kudos to Captain Brathwaite.
And he certainly is probably the fastest bowler in this tournament. McAllister goes short. Now this is a new opening pair. Yesterday was the first time these two opened together. It's been Jonathan Drakes, but they've opted to keep the captain for a bit later on in the innings.
Yeah, very interesting. Odin McCarthy, I know head coach Floyd Ruffer, he likes to play McCarthy a lot. Has been struggling for form this year, not formats really, but that yesterday that innings was majestic, and you have to say the Pelicans got that change right.
They do have a lot of power, this Pelicans team. They're really firing at the right time. Won their last 4 matches, so momentum on their side. Again, steep bounce, but wide signaled. And Jamal, it'll be interesting to see how the surface plays as well, because yesterday on pitch number 6 to the far right, we had a lot of inclement weather. It was sticky. Ball was coming onto the bat slowly, and that was a challenge for batters. It got better as the day went on, so early today will be interesting.
Well, I'll teach you a trick, Nikhil. That delivery just now is banging into the surface. So if you see the bounce, it was high, but it was ballooned. It actually was on its way down to the keeper as opposed to on its way up. So suggestive that there is a bit of bounce, but it's not that quick. So we have to say the pitch probably is firm, but not as hard as it could be. Just
has a flash. You see how far that the keeper is back, almost touching the 30-yard circle. I think slip is actually outside that 30-yard circle, so it tells you about McAllister. And yesterday, even on that slower deck, he still was able to get some carry, and he just puts in a lot of effort, Jerry McAllister.
Yeah, let's not take much signal from keeper Demario Richards, though. He's not he's not the most accomplished keeper in this tournament. He's actually now learned his trade just about a year and a half into keeping, so I believe he will want to be further back to be comfortable. Again, that delivery was on his way down as he collected it.
Wicket! And again, Jerry McAllister, he's been the go-to man all throughout the tournament, striking again early for the Guardians.
So there we saw again Nikhil, the bounce, but not necessarily the pace. That was a wild flash, and I'll tell you, if this pitch was quick, that delivery would have probably banged into that side screen away from us, but what it did was just lobbed into the slip region. It looks like Allison the holder, they're taking that one away to his left, and I'm personally believe that any slip catch is a good catch, Nikhil, a lob or not, especially away to his left, to his shoulder. So strike one for this Guardians unit, and as you rightly said, this guy Jerry McAllister, he has a ways to go. He certainly looks like a very, very interesting prospect, certainly for the Guardians and for the future as we see it here on the monitor.
Well, he's now got 7 wickets in the tournament, McAllister. And a good catch by Holder because he had to make that leap. You're right though, it was through the shot very early, came off the bottom of the bat and just too easy. It now brings Drakes to the crease though, and he's someone that is very accomplished, has opened the batting for the majority of the tournament, but I think will be disappointed with the volume of runs he's produced. Just 62 runs from the 7 times he's batted, average less than 9. So we know him as a class player. He will want to get going for his team, especially Jamal in these 4 power play overs, which becomes so crucial in a 10-over affair.
Yeah, most certainly has to hit the ground running, but let's not forget, so far University of West Indies power score is still just around 90 to 100 in terms of being competitive, and it's a semi-final as well.
That length he bowls, McAllister, if he can get that line right and consistent, he can be a real handful because his body line had a bit of extra pace. Would you say he's the fastest bowler we have on display in the BIM 10?
That's a very, very interesting observation, and Nikhil, to be fair, I've seen some relatively good seamers, particularly on this Guardians side. Mikhail Powell, he's no slouch as well. He gets it through. I think what stands out for Jerry McAllister is the fact that he's aggressive almost every single delivery. He's banging into that surface. He loves to hit that 5-6 meter mark. Sometimes he get a bit shorter, and he has a pretty good skill set in terms of slow deliveries as well. So not the easiest guy to set yourself against in terms of preempting what will come out of his hands. And as we said, he's very, very aggressive. He's pacey. He's been doing this quite a while now. This is about 3 years or so he's been on the circuit and really rushing batters, evidenced by the fact that he was selected recently for Barbados in the Super 50 tournament as well. So as we say, he's a big, strong unit. Look at him there at that 45 position. Very, very young man, possibly one for the future.
Indeed, it's going to be Rashawn Williams, 3 for 1 after the first over. The Guardians striking early, left arm spin into the attack. This is an interesting move because we haven't seen Williams too often with the new ball. More often than not, balls in the middle overs, but he's had a good couple of games with both bat and ball. Interesting to see if he got any bat on that Drakes, but these 24 deliveries, how crucial are they?
Yeah, this power play is always crucial, particularly at this university ground. Surface still sluggish. It's been rain on and off, and the field is not as well curated as it used to be. So those ground strokes, getting those 4s, as it were, through the gaps hasn't been happening. So they have to rely a lot on power hitting, getting up to probably 40, which is about 10 and over, which would get you to that competitive score we have to say of around 90 to 100. Most teams have struggled to do that. I mean, we've seen some exemplary innings. Let's not forget that Guardians innings with Kyle Corbin made that magnificent 95, and they went on to 160. But apart from that, it's been pretty flat, reasonable through the power play, just about 25 to 35 runs.
And even though the Guardians have only lost 1 game coming into this, Jamal, they still, I think, will feel like Kyle Corbin said at the toss, he still believes that his team can produce a bit better, a bit more. 6 matches won, they lost 2, and being that one yesterday, and then of course had that one tied game. So even though they've picked up results, still isn't as confident. But definitely the one thing that you observe from this team is the versatility in the bowling lineup. End of the second over, and another good one from the Guardians' perspective. Just 6 for 1. Oh no, we have 1 delivery remaining, so Williams will want to get through this. But I look at this attack. You've got the pace of McAllister, left arm spin of Williams, and a Pius Emilian. You have off spin in there as well. Just over the head of that mid-on fielder, inside the circle, and Brathwaite being aggressive early.
Yeah, good shot. I mean, you raised some very good points there, Nikhil. It is a semi-final after all. At the end of the day, whoever loses is out. Never mind the history. The Pelicans, I find they're an improvement side as well. This actually is a very, very good contest, certainly in terms of the context of this tournament. So we really, really have to see how they will fight along here, particularly in this Early power play.
That is going a far way back. And it's the first maximum of the innings. Cheyenne Brathwaite, he's been on the charge, leading run scorer for this Pelicans team. Great way to end the second over, 16 for 1.
Yeah, short and a very innocuous delivery there, you have to say, from the young left arm spinner. He's changed his action a bit, Rashawn Williams. I know you know him pretty well in the kid. He's very, very front on now. I'm not sure where he's gotten that from. Definitely not looking to spin any deliveries. And there he was on that occasion, short and wide and weird and punish, and we're away to the east, the most easterly surface here. So this boundary is just about, I'll give it 60 meters at most, particularly to that squares region where that delivery landed for 6. So poor ball in there to finish the over, and now the Pelicans just have that bit of impetus going into the 4th over of the power play.
Well, both teams rotated a bit yesterday in their matchups when it was these two that played, and the Pelicans completely dismantled the Guardians, chased down that 77 after the rains came without loss. And it was all Cheyenne Brathwaite and Odin McCarthy. They've already got McCarthy out, but they need to get Brathwaite. Mikhail Powell into the attack. Oh, that's glorious. Just picked up by Jonathan Drakes. And we mentioned the fact that he's a dangerous campaigner, and it goes all the way for 6 as well.
As you said, he's a class player. Have you noticed the difference so far between Cheyenne Brathwaite's stroke play, how he's looking to bludgeon the ball, as opposed to Drakes, who just basically caressed that really over that square leg region? So you have one guy going for brute force, and you have the other guy, as we see on the monitor. Look at that. What more can you ask for? Helped the longest way, 6 runs.
Even into the bigger side, Drake's still backing himself. This time goes short. Interesting decision though from Brathwaite. That's good running in the end, in hindsight, but I think it could be because of how far Richards is from off of the stump, so it gives Brathwaite enough time to get to the other end.
A good skill set shown as well there. Is a now a deep backward square. Mikhail Powell opting to go with the pace off delivery, slower delivery, but as we said, the keeper, in particular Damari Richards, he keeps a fair way back. He's not as confident as the other keeper, is not as accomplished, and Brathwaite seizing the opportunity. I have to say the captain is up for the fight. Well, not the captain, sorry, the most senior player. He's up for the fight here for the Pelicans.
They made 3 changes today, the Guardians, and Powell was 1. They also brought back Shane Mosley, the experienced opener, and then Richards, the keeper. So after a bit of rotation against these Pelicans yesterday, they'll be happy to know that they've got their full strength team back. But they are missing Javid Leacock, who's a leg spin option and was a wicket taking option for them in the first half of the tournament. He's ill, so unavailable to play, and that could be a big miss given his variation and that leg spin, which is golden in this shortened format. It's in the air, but just over Williams. He'll carry to the boundary, but another 2 runs. This has been a good start from the Pelicans.
Yeah, some interesting strokes here coming out from Cheyenne Brathwaite. I think I'll term it as flamboyance, and some very flamboyant stroke play. It doesn't always look the pictures, but again on that occasion, I can't describe it really. Some kind of flick shot possibly. Got a leading edge and managed to evade that man at that mid-on position on the 30-yard circle was Williams.
It'll be interesting to see though how Cheyenne Brathwaite goes through the gears, because yesterday he had someone like Odin McCarthy who was continuously going from one end, so it allowed him just to take his time, bat responsibly, and of course they knew exactly what they were chasing. Just needed 9 runs and over, but surely they'll be looking for 110, 120. And even though it's a slow surface, ball seems to still be coming on pretty decent, much improved compared to yesterday's pitch.
Yeah, slow-ish, we'll say.
Definitely is a big asset though for Kyle Corbin, being able to have 2 seamers in Powell and McAllister. Ends a good over though for the Pelicans, able to get 9 from it. Just 1 over to go in this power play, 26 for 1.
Yeah, that delivery gone through there. Powell again showing his experience, pace on this occasion. Keeper Damari Richards as far back as he is not being able to collect that. That's something I've noticed about his keeper, Mikhail I really don't like it. We go through we go through 10 overs, you will see him drop 5-6 deliveries that come straight through. That's something that he really needs to work on, you know, a very improvement in his game, because to be fair to him, he's an electrifying player, particularly at the top of the innings. He needs to build his confidence if he wants to go further in this cricket. Is that a bowling change, or is that Williams still actually?
It's Pius Emilian.
So almost the same bowler.
Yeah, one left arm spinner to the next.
Left arm, front on.
Haven't seen many spinners in this tournament be able to actually get purchase off the surface. Down on one knee, plays that sweep shot so well, Cheyenne Brathwaite, and all the way for 6 into the smaller side. And every time a new bowler's come on, they've tried to put him under pressure straight away. Again, that square region, Cheyenne Brathwaite going for a slug sweep. Again, Nikhil, he went with full force and power. Just managed to get it over. We're saying that boundary is about 60 meters. It just landed a few meters behind, but nevertheless 6 more runs. He's taking his chances to the shorter side. I have to ask the question now, if left hand spin from that end is proving dividends for the Guardians, or if the Pelicans are being allowed to get away here. It's a packed offside field. 5 inside the circle for this final over of the power play. This is smart batting. He hasn't executed on that delivery, Brathwaite, but he clearly is visible of the fact that there's a much smaller side to his left, his onside, so he's trying to come across and hit the ball there. The length is going to be crucial from Pius Emilian. Yeah, and that's fair enough. That's good thinking from Brathwaite. Again, though, trying to overhit that delivery. Doesn't have to do much to get it past that backward square, and that man on the 45 just needs good contact. It's a short distance. Probably can keep his eye on the ball a bit more. Back over his head, and this will be runs. Again, Drake's just classy, but comes back for 2, and this is all he needs to do, given the power that they can have from the other end. Still Ravindra Prasad to come. Akeem Jordan has finished games off for them as well. A tale of the 2 batters. Cheyenne Brathwaite opting to go offside to try to access the leg side, and Drake's going up leg side to access the off. Doesn't carry, so gets away with it, and this is not a bad region to be in at the end of the power play. Still 2 deliveries to go, and touching just around 40, and still have 9 wickets in hand. Just par, as we said. We're just about par, and every delivery is crucial. There are 2 more left in this over. If they can get 40 and above, they're well on target to post 3 figures. Not timing it as well as he would have liked. Brathwaite still able to turn over the strike though, and that's been something good to see. The way he's just improved as games have gone on in this BIM 10 tournament. But into the power play for the Pelicans, and they're able to get through it. What we thought is the end, but it's still 1 delivery remaining, so Pius Emilian is going to have to ensure he closes out this over well. Last 4 deliveries have only gone for 4 runs. Did that back foot come off the ground? Umpire says no, so he survives. Drake's 37 for 1 after 4. Yeah, and as I said, Nikhil, we saw a tale of 2 batters. Drake's, when he's looking to hit a boundary, he's looking to access that offside, giving himself room. Cheyenne Brathwaite opting to go to the leg side to access his shorter boundary, and he was successful. He managed to reel off a 6, but as we said, that 37 mark, just above 35, just north of 35. But no team really, apart from that one innings that we saw from the Guardians, is able to get up and above 40 and beyond in the power play, and that has been something that has, I would say, tormented the batting side, and reflective in the scores of just about 90 to 100, 70, 80, 90, 100. This bowling change is a very interesting one as well. There is a shorter side to the offside here, the off spin of Romario Graves. I like to term him as an attacking bowler. He can sometimes go for a few. Cheyenne Brathwaite is pretty much set. Interesting proposition here. Yeah, he's been very attacking when he's been given the opportunity in the tournament. Romario Graves hasn't bowled very often, but when he has, he's always found a way to pick up wickets. Averages a wicket every 7 deliveries, and that tells you all you need to know. He's only bowled in the 7 games, but he does have that brilliant strike rate of just a touch under 7. So by that measure, we could be expecting a break of this partnership, and that's why Kyle Corbin has gone to him. This is a semi-final encounter. You cannot afford to make too many mistakes, because you lose and you're out. So 3rd spin option we've seen into the attack. And big side or small side, it doesn't matter. When Cheyenne Brathwaite gets it out the middle, it'll travel.
Tremendous power there on that occasion. That whizzed away past us, the deep mid wicket. He had no chance. Yes, it is the biggest side, but he made beautiful contact on that occasion. As you said, he does have a full flourish of the blade, and on that occasion the timing was perfect. Remember, I told you, Nikhil, Mario Graves, I like to term him as an attacking off spinner. He bowls those areas where he can be struck for a few boundaries. There he was, but I have to say a right long hop. It was smacked away. I don't even think it's back yet. We have some airtime to entertain our viewers.
Yeah, and this has been interesting an approach from the Pelicans, because every time a new bowler's come into the attack, they've seemed to try to be very aggressive from the onset, just trying to unsettle him as he gets into stride. So far it's worked for them. Struck that maximum against Rashawn Williams on the very first delivery he bowled. Now against Graves. Looks pretty adjacent, but I wonder if it was just doing too much.
I would say from my angle, Nikhil, I'm a couple feet more to the right. I'm almost straight. Look, there was a side of the off stump. Cheyenne Brathwaite, he got across his stumps and armed, actually. So no real chance of being LBW there. See on the monitor, yes.
We are outside the power play, so you're going to look for two. Excellent running from Drakes, gets it easily in the end. So 5 allowed outside the circle, and predictably it's a pretty dominant leg side field in terms of boundary riders. 3 in deep backward skirt, almost a cow corner and a long on. The other 2 being deep cover and long off. Pretty conventional field for the off spinner. If he can get it out of this over for less than 10 runs, I think Kyle Corbin will be pretty happy with this. Too short and in the gap as well. Excellent positioning from Drakes. Just hit it as late as possible and found the boundary.
I was about to tell you, Nikhil, based on this length that Romario Graves is bowling, I suspect he will be struck for another boundary. He seems very, very reluctant to go fuller to these batters. Remember, we said the surface is just a bit slow. He's not reading the conditions well. He's backing the pitch almost for that surface that is nice and true, that deliveries would slide on, and it's certainly not working there. He needs to be a bit fuller, albeit that being a bit fuller gives the batter a chance to go down the ground, but certainly too short on that occasion. Been too short the entire over, actually.
Picked up again, but won't carry to that cow corner fielder. And this has been uncharacteristic for him, because in the last 2 games now he's been expensive, whereas in the tournament he's gone for less than 8 runs. Not many bowlers have done that in this 10 over format, to go at just 7.8 runs per over. So he's been an excellent option for Kyle Corbin to go to, but in these last couple of matches he's gone for runs. Again outside the line, but you like the thinking. It's innovative thinking from Cheyenne Brathwaite. They'll get through for the leg bye, but a decent over still for the Pelicans. 12 runs able to come off of it. 550 up, sorry, after 5.
Yeah, good over there for the Pelicans. So they're right on that rate of 10 and over. But as we said, Nikhil, cricket is conditions. We read from that delivery that Jared McAllister bowled way back when into the surface that it just is a bit slow. The bounce is true though. And if you're a spinner and you're looking to hit that back of the length and slide the deliveries true to the batters, that's ill advised really on this surface. That last delivery, that length is possibly where spinners need to be operating. As soon as they're short, they will be punished. Remember, Cheyenne Brathwaite also deposited 2 deliveries in that deep backward skirt region off the left hand spinners that were short. So if these guys are learning their lessons based on the surface, particularly these Guardian bowlers, they should be adjusting their length. But so far they've been allowing lengths that the Pelicans can capitalize on, and we said on a surface and in conditions that are not always known for scores north of 100. So the Guardians just have to be a bit careful here. We see another bowling change.
It's going to be the seam of Jamadi Lynch, who's really been used for more of those cutters into the pitch. Did have a good day though against this Pelicans team. Yesterday bowled the 1 over for just 7 runs in a game that they lost, and also picked up 2 wickets against them early in the tournament. And again, you've seen that pace off, which can be valuable on these slower surfaces.
Again, a poor collection by keeper the Mario Richards allowing a single. What I would say though, Nikhil, and this are the intricacies of cricket, a bowler that is prepared, a seamer that is prepared to take pace off, that can get just on that shortish area, as evidenced by that delivery, stands a very good chance. So their Brathwaite beating all ends up.
Another short delivery. And another one that Drake's is unable to score against. So it's a good start from Jamali Lynch. And you think one tight over all of a sudden puts a bit more pressure on this Pelicans team. But they were 50 after 5, the halfway stage. 30 deliveries remaining in the innings. What type of target are you looking to set?
Certainly 100 plus. Will have to be on their minds. 2 deliveries so far into the surface. Batter's not reading his pitch. His bowling. What will he come with next?
He misses his length and line, really, on the leg side. Richards is a far way back. Haven't seen many deliveries actually carry to him.
What's interesting is Richards has not collected one single delivery in this over as yet. All the deliveries have gone through on the bounce. He's fumbled every delivery. He's actually keeping with one glove off. And this is so interesting, Nikhil. He's opting to be almost on that 30-yard circle with a pace of bowling seam off, not collecting deliveries, but goes gloves off. I cannot tell you how difficult it is to pick up deliveries on the volley without 2 gloves on. Not good thinking.
Another one goes through him, so he has been struggling. Richards. And yesterday,
this is truly amazing. Nikhil again, he's opting to be very deep, but glove off. The deliveries are not coming through, and he's conceding by on every single delivery. No, he seems to be making the adjustment. Very, very interesting. I'm not in tune with this thought process at all.
They do have Shakir Paris, who took the gloves yesterday and seemed to have a pretty good day, so could have gone to him as well, the opening batter. This has been an excellent over, though. I know we've spoken about the keeping, but what an over this has been from Lynch. No runs scored off the bat in this over. It's just been the extras and just 2 of them. So he's done something really well. Lynch.
The batter's going for power to the leg side. It is the shorter side, but Lynch so far holding his line, holding his length. The length really is the key, Nikhil. He's executed perfectly so far. Having said that, 2 deliveries left, 2 boundaries can make a difference.
He has got this one though, Drakes. And into the smaller side. Just too easy. My man has been there now for 16 deliveries.
As we said, Nikhil, 2 deliveries left. Batters now must be getting accustomed to those variations. Drakes dragging that one to the leg side. That's a boundary. Very, very interesting to see this last delivery, because no, what actually happened though is that he was just a bit fuller. He was in that slot region. If you notice, Drakes actually wiped all the way around, so suggestive that there is a lack of pace that he wasn't able to get it up to that long on region. He got it a very, very square on the boundary, as you would say, to the left of a very square, deep square leg. It's very interesting, this last delivery. What length does he bowl here?
This time they'll keep it to just 1. Still though, you take that if you're the Guardians. 6th over, just going for 9 runs. Well bowled, Jamali Lynch. End of 6, 61 for 1.
Yeah, it could have been a much better over for Lynch, had not for those couple extras errors by keeper Richards. But you have to say a very, very good over in the context of the game. Still just conceding 1 boundary, just 1 error, really in length, not necessarily line, as we said. Once you can get those deliveries on about that short of a good length region, as a seamer, it will be very, very difficult to beat to the leg side, albeit that is the shorter boundary as we are our way to the east. So a fair over there from Jamali Lynch. He's really coming to his Guardians team though, and added something to the bowling. Not express, pretty good skill set.
That in itself has been one of the joys of this BIM 10 tournament. Unearthing that new talent for the world to see, that exposure to the professional level. Someone like Jamali Lynch, a young man, is benefited massively. He's going to be left arm spin into the attack. Emilian, first over, went for just 10. This goes straight up, but I think he's got enough on it. It's going to take some catching, and just over the boundary. And always hard to judge. Catching the ball down on this straight boundary, and a good way to start the over.
Very, very dangerous move here from Captain Corbin, opting to bowl past Emilian to this end to Jonathan Drakes. I tell you why, Jonathan Drakes, he favors the offside. The offside now is in Jonathan Drakes' favor in terms of going in that region straight, long off, with extra cover. If I'm a betting man, I'll say he would try to give himself some room and try to access the offside and look to put Emilian under pressure.
This time should be taken, and is. Success for Pius Emilian after going for that maximum.
So he did go to the leg side. He did try to access the leg side, but a good length from Pius Emilian, and Drake's unable to execute that shot somewhere possibly in that long off to over extra cover region. So he has to go. So albeit that I did say it was a dangerous move from Captain Kyle Corbin, is proved dividends, and that possibly was the thinking behind that move. He's gotten the wicket of Drakes, the dangerous Drakes as well, as we see an even more dangerous man coming to the crease now, certainly in this BIM T10 and in this format, any shortened format. This is a dangerous contender. We're talking about Ravindra Prasad. He's coming up very business-like. Nikhil, almost as if to say, I'm here. We wait to see what his exploits will be, but certainly a very interesting proposition here now for the remainder of this game.
Well, he's very capable of finding the boundary, clearing the boundary as well. So, sure he'll be looking to up the ante now. 23 legal deliveries remaining in the innings, correction. So a lot of time for Virendra Prasad. He only needs 2 or 3 deliveries to get going. It was a good partnership though. Come out for 2. Excellent from Cheyenne Brathwaite. He's played some aggressive cricket, but Jamal, it was an excellent partnership between Brathwaite and Drakes. 48 from just 26 deliveries.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. As I said, very interesting proposition. We almost feel like the game is poised. Nikhil, do you feel the game is poised? I feel like it's poised right now, and this next block of 12 deliveries or so will give us a very clear indication of the direction this game is going.
Yeah, definitely. It always comes down to these last couple of overs. He only needs 1, Prasad, but he's picked out the man. Huge strike, and it's 2 in the over for Pius Emilian. The gamble working for Kyle Corbin.
Yes, most certainly. Prasad, we know he's a dangerous customer. He's given us some very, very good innings. But there he was trying to take on that delivery. Very well judged there on the boundary as well. It looks like Jamali Lynch, we said, he's been a wonderful addition to this Guardians lineup. Skill set with the ball, and now showing that he's adept as well in the field. A nicely judged catch there. Ravindra Prasad, he has to go. And now we're saying Akeem Jordan to the crease. But more importantly, as I said, this block of 12, I came up with a little formula, Nikhil, for this format. I like to say that up until the 7.5 over is the middle period. We're in the middle period. After that, we're into the death. So as we said, now the next block of 11 deliveries is even more interesting. 69 for 2, a run rate of just about 10.62 and over. So even Stevens, 2 wickets to Emilian. We have to wait and see what happens, but very interestingly poised. We have to say even Stevens.
It's a promotion for Akeem Jordan, who's played some blistering innings in this tournament. The last couple of games, the top order has done really well, so he hasn't been required, but when he has come out to bat, there've been no stopping him. He really has had a good tournament. And of course, it's exciting action coming to you all day, because 2:30 p.m. it's semi-final number 2, and that's going to be an exciting one as well. Bit of mind games being played by Emilian, but it's been an excellent over. 2 wickets, 8 runs conceded. This could just be what the Guardians needed to get them back into this game.
Again, that slowness of the surface seen there into the pitch. New batter coming to the crease is not that easy. He has to take at least 4 or 5 deliveries to get accustomed to the conditions.
He's only been required to bat 6 times in the tournament. Akeem Jordan got into the over. An excellent over from Emilian. 69 for 3. Akeem Jordan, he's only batted 6 out of 11 times, Jamal, but a strike rate of 200, and also he's been not out 4 out of the 6 times. So being able to finish the job for his team quite a number of times. They still have the power of Joshua Bishop. Joshua Morris can hit it a long way as well. Someone like Aaron Daly. So still batting to come, but these next 18 deliveries could be make or break.
Yes, most certainly. As I said, this block heading into the back end of the game now, most certainly Jerry McAllister, he has an over up his sleeve. Mikhail Powell as well. We expect Captain Corbin to go back to those, and Jamali Lynch as well. So possibly looking to close out this innings with his 3 experienced seamers. And to be fair, they have some wonderful skill sets. If there's one thing I've appreciated about the seamers in this entire competition, is their ability to hit the surface hard, and also the ability to come back and bowl some death overs with some very good variation.
Lynch has been highlight of that because he has been special to watch. But you'll have to do it now against Cheyenne Brathwaite, who's set. Goes high, goes long. That's mammoth and out of here. Cheyenne Brathwaite at his best.
I have to say, Nikhil, that was a wonderful, wonderful stroke from Cheyenne Brathwaite. It was in the slot and executed again. Remember that flourishing back speed that we talked about again. That delivery was in the slot and Brathwaite, much obliged. That was hit a fair bit. I have to say, Nikhil, I give that about 90 meters way into the car park. It's not even back yet. Once again, we have a bit of air time.
Cheyenne Brathwaite, this has been amazing to watch. The consistency at which he's been able to find runs. Went past the 200 run mark yesterday, but he's averaged over 30 in the tournament with a strike rate of 140, and that tells you all you need to know at the top of the order. And he has this ability to carry his bat throughout, and that's 5 not outs in the tournament, Jamal.
Yeah, he's done a very good job.
He's on the charge. Indecision, and this will be a run out. Jordan wanting to get to the other end. Brathwaite sending him back. And that is not what the Pelicans needed at this stage. Just after hitting a maximum.
Yeah, certainly a run out, especially to somebody with the experience of Jordan. I have to say, though, very, very good fielding and good awareness from Kyle Corbin. He didn't attempt to throw down the stumps. He took his time. He realized what was happening around him, and a very, very easy lob back to the bowler. Easy run out affected. So again, Nikhil, we're saying now the complexion of this game over the last, I would say, 6 or 7 deliveries, we've seen a flurry of Pelican wickets. Is this the start of a decline, or can they finish well?
Another delivery he took pace off of Jamali Lynch. Really, all 8 deliveries in his spell have been pace off, and he's been predictable but very effective. It brings Aaron Daly, who can strike a long ball, to the crease. But as you said, 3 wickets now in the last 8 deliveries, and this is exactly what Kyle Corbin would have wanted after they got off to an electric start. 50 for 1 after the first 5. But since, there's only been 19 runs and they've lost 2 wickets. 3 wickets, correction.
Hence why the power play is so important.
Brathwaite, though, he continues. There's no stopping Cheyenne Brathwaite. What a tournament this young man is having.
Most certainly, again, let's describe it as a wipe to the leg side. Again, that flourish with the bat, almost a helicopter-like strike there. Jamali Lynch earning length this time. Again, away to that shorter boundary. 6 more runs to Cheyenne Brathwaite.
Well, they'll have to adjust because he's being a bit predictable. Lynch, he's gone to pace off and gone to a much shorter length. So we want to get a lot fuller. Much better result. They're going to come back for 2. Excellent from Daly to get to the danger end. And another 2 runs means Brathwaite will have more of the strike. 40 now from 20. This has been a gem.
Yeah, good awareness from Aaron Daly, now coming in, understanding the situation and allowing his batter that is set to get back to the striker's end. Good cricket all round from the Pelicans. As we said, now they're pushing, they're progressing really towards that competitive total, that par score of 100.
Stylish, just style from Brathwaite, and he finds the maximum again. Moves to 46. This could be a match-changing innings.
That's something I've noticed, Nikhil. As long as the deliveries are in the slot, you get that result from Cheyenne Brathwaite. Once again, that helicopter-like stroke, full flourish of the blade, over extra cover for 6, and pose to match as well. He's certainly feeling himself. The Pelicans are certainly feeling Cheyenne Brathwaite. He is leading the charge, marching on to 46 from 21 deliveries. The Pelicans now certainly are going to post something north of 100 to make a very competitive total.
But the amazing thing about that is it's a full length. This time though, Lynch strikes, and finally able to get one full enough to challenge the stumps. And once he does that, Brathwaite's stumps tumble, but 46 from 22, that could be the innings that the Pelicans need to get them past that 110 mark.
Yeah, most certainly wonderful innings there from Brathwaite. Take nothing from him. The young man Jamali Lynch responding in kind, being able to produce a full delivery on the money, striking that leg pull down of Sean Bradford. He'll have to go, but certainly he has done the damage. The Pelicans 89 for 5. Joshua Bishop, now the onus is upon him and Aaron Daly, the two pretty good strikers of the ball, to finish this innings well. Have to say though, Nikhil, as we suspected that this would be a pretty even competition, and we've seen that on the replay. Jamali Lynch full, fast and straight leg pull out of the ground. 1, 2, 3 cartwheels. Wonderful sight there for the young Jamali Lynch, as we've seen. Now, Mikhail Powell, he will bowl the penultimate over, and as I told you, we suspect that John McAllister will bowl the last as well. So Captain Kyle Corbin, certainly from his perspective, has gone to the script that he had planned. I wonder if he had planned for over 100 though.
2 ducks in that scorecard. Now 4 wickets coming in the last 12 deliveries. So it has really been a game of two tails. We saw that dominant partnership between Brathwaite and Drakes, but since, it's been all the Guardians bowlers. Ken Daly and Bishop finished this innings well. Oh, he's connected with that. That is a lethal strike from Aaron Daly. First delivery, maximum.
Good old-time swashbuckling hitting. Aaron Daly just standing and delivering that one, going over the long arm region. Powell, they're guilty of coming back and bowling a delivery full in the hitting art. Aaron Daly says, "Thank you very much, my friend, my Jamaican compatriot." 6 runs.
Well, you see Pedro Collins and Kyle Corbin, the think tank, where they've had to think. This time will just be 1, but the ease at, oh no, misfield, so it means they get back for 2, and that is sloppy cricket really from the Guardians. You can just sense the pressure being on. But the maximums that they've hit, now 9 in the innings, that has helped separate the two teams at this stage.
That makes a difference here at the University Oval. As we said earlier, the balls don't travel as well on the field here at University of the West Indies. So those touch players that go for 4, what really makes the difference is how many maximums can you strike.
Right pace off. A full toss. I think Daly will be disappointed. Another 2 runs taken, but he'll be disappointed, Aaron Daly, that he wasn't able to find a maximum with that, because he would have sized it up.
Let's give the bowler some credit there, Nikhil. Let's say that slower delivery, that pace-off delivery just tipped just a bit, and Aaron Daly unable to get under it. But nevertheless, 2 more runs. The momentum is firmly with the Pelicans now, just 1 shy of 100, with still some 9 deliveries or so left.
Want another 2. It's been a productive over so far, and they'll get it, but he has to hurry. Gets there quite comfortably. So after the maximum, they've run 3 2s and still not able to find the boundary, but able to score and put this Guardians under more pressure. 100 comes up.
Yeah, the question at this stage is how many boundaries can you strike? As we said, there's some 8 deliveries now. If you get 2 more boundaries and you're operating at 2 runs and over, guess what, Nikhil, you are north of 120, which would be a very, very competitive total, albeit that we know that the Guardians is the kind of team that can chase 120. Still left to be seen in this first semi-final.
Well, disguised story delivery again, but they'll be cognizant of the fact, the Pelicans, that this Guardians team put 150 runs on the board. Mind you, they were batting first, but still, they have those capabilities. The captain, Kyle Corbin, he's been out of the runs in the last couple of games. They've brought back in Shane Mosley. Then they have some power as well. Alcindor Holder. So as many as they can get in these last 7 deliveries will be important. Momentum as well going into that break.
Yeah, most certainly. You have to say though, the Pelicans, they've timed their innings relatively well. We saw just about par in the power play. We saw just about par through the middle, and now to the back end, they're slightly exceeding par. Certainly formidable total, or competitive total, will be on the board.
Has to re-bowl it, and that will be disappointing. But actually, he's got him. Demario Richards. Bishop just looking to advance, looking for the single. Richards hits the stump. So even though it's so wide and you have to re-bowl it, still able to get another wicket.
Yeah, if Demario Richards listens to this stream later tonight, he said, "Jamal Smith, what do you know? I knew exactly what I was doing with my gloves off some 5 overs ago. There it was evidence I was able to throw down the stumps." I'll say to him, finally you've collected a delivery on the volley, and that has aided you in being able to run out Joshua Bishop. Well done to the Mario Richards in the end. Seen it on the monitor there. Nice slow delivery from Powell. And finally, keeper being able to pick up a delivery cleanly, and he threw down the stumps. And he has to go. Nevertheless, good total on the board, Nikhil. The Guardians must be just a bit weary of these final 7 deliveries, certainly in terms of what can be posted, because we know now that the Pelicans are for the fight, being 3 figures and marching on.
If they can keep them to a runner ball for these last 7 and just 110, I think they'll be very happy with this. The Guardians brings Joshua Drakes to the middle, and he can't score. Excellent over though in terms of the end. After going for that maximum, Mikhail Powell still concedes the 14 runs though. 103 for 6.
Yes, 14 runs to that over. As we said, credit to the Pelicans for getting up and over that 100 mark. That is the first hurdle, certainly in a semi-final in conditions like these. We suspect that Jerry McAllister will bowl the last over. Captain Corbin will be expecting what he has done all season, particularly in the last over, being able to close out certainly for less than 10 runs. So that's his responsibility. He will be operating from that southern end, which means that the most easterly part of the field will be exposed to the leg side. It'll be very interesting. We said that that boundary is just about 60 meters. We know his natural length usually is short into the pitch. However, he does have some very good slower ball variations, and as we see him now coming around the wicket, suggestive already, especially based on his field with that sweeper, very square, and that third man and that long off in play, that he will be looking to go across the batter, certainly on a fullish length. So we'll have to wait and see. That's just my theorizing, so to speak. But Jared McAllister, he is a pretty good operator and has been operating well for the Guardians, and certainly will be looking to close it out here.
So McAllister has had a really good tournament around the wicket. First delivery goes pace off. Excellent disguise, but just been sloppy in the field from the Guardians, and they'll look back at this and say they've given away at least 5 or 10 runs based on their fielding. Could have easily had them below 100 going into this last over.
Yeah, very good delivery again, and we saw this in the Jamali Lynch over. Let's not forget the keeper making a couple of errors, and they'll be able to sneak singles and twos, and all of a sudden there's a boundary or two, and the over costs 14. Have to wait and see, but again, sloppy work there from the Guardians.
This time goes full, and he should have a wicket, and does. He had another catch for Shane Mosley, who makes no mistake, and it's Aaron Daly who can really be dangerous at this phase of the innings, departing. It's really been a great comeback in the last 5 overs from the Guardians.
Yeah, very good delivery again there from McAllister. We did say that he will go across the batter. We did say that he will bowl that slower ball variation. We've seen it on that occasion here. Daly winding up for a big hit. Had to stop his entire bat flow. There he was out Fox. He could only succeed in chipping it to that point region. So far, 2 pluses for Jared McAllister. He's gotten the wicket and he's not considered a boundary. Some 4 deliveries left, Nikhil, and this is how this T10 plays. 2 boundaries and the momentum changes. All of a sudden the target is 115 to 120, or a couple more dot deliveries and the Guardians go off with a bit of momentum in terms of the chase.
Drakes, I think, will be disappointed with the way his team has finished the innings off. Here's Joshua Morris at 50 for 1. Drakes is at the crease. They had a good partnership being established. They would have been certainly looking for 110 or north of that. You think about maybe 50 to 60 runs in the last 5 overs, but instead, the Guardians have come back in this game massively. And what about Jared McAllister? Now 8 deliveries. He's only conceded 5 runs and picked up the 2 wickets.
Yes, and this has been Jared McAllister's operation all tournament long. He's been able to close out that last over for less than 10. 3 deliveries left.
Again, should be another one. Jair McAllister, what a day. No, put down.
Yeah, I never liked the energy that Captain Corbin was under that delivery with. He was a bit too relaxed and comfortable there, and as the ball descended, he was unable to judge it properly. Big error, or we have to say a schoolboy error really, from a senior man in the team. But we'll wait and see if that will cost them anything much.
I'd be disappointed with that. Kyle Corbin setting the example for his team. Pace off again, but Morris has just got enough. That could be so vital in this semi-final. Takes it to score past 110 now as well.
Cost 6 already. Captain Corbin putting down a very easy chance, and the young man able to get that delivery over the long on region from the next delivery. So it's cost 6 so far, and as you said, Nikhil, this is a game of fine margins. All of a sudden there's a boundary in the over. 115, one delivery left. Who will be the happiest side after this delivery?
It does rub salt into the wounds when you put down a chance. Final delivery of the innings. 2 is the call. Another well executed Yorker, and McAllister, this has been a brilliant last over, even though he conceded the maximum, because it could have been the difference between 120 plus and now just 117. He's got the lowest economy in the tournament. McAllister gone for less than 5.5, and he's done a good job for his team today. But the Pelicans, I think, have posted an above par total on this surface, 117, and it's been because of the great start they had through Cheyenne Brathwaite and Jonathan Drakes.
You have to say it was a steady innings right through. The Pelicans were able to keep a pace with what they produced in the power play, evidenced by this total of 117. So you have to say, Nikhil, is one of those totals, particularly in the semi-finals, where it's just enough for the Pelicans, particularly if they get a good start, to put some real pressure on the Guardians. The Guardians have been known to make totals in excess of 170. The question is if they'll be able to pull off that brilliance here in this important semi-final, because, as you said earlier, if you lose, you go home.
A couple of big strikes from Aaron Daly and one from Joshua Morris allowed them to get 49 runs from the last 3 overs, and that could be telling. But a good comeback towards the middle. They took 4 wickets in 2 overs. McAllister was brilliant again. He's been the go-to man all season. Pius Emilian picked up 2 for 18 in his 2 overs, and just 1 wicket for Jamadi Lynch, who went for 20 in his second over. But it means then that the Guardians, who have posted 150 in this tournament already, if they want to progress to the final, tomorrow's grand finale of this BIM 10 tournament, they'll need 118 runs. Don't go too far, because this run chase will be exciting. We'll be back in a couple of minutes' time. Welcome back to the action. It's the Guardians up against the Pelicans in knockout match number 1. After 30 group stage matches, we're down to just 4. And it's going to be 118 runs on the board. Two teams that have been dominant in this tournament, but one must be eliminated. And it's Kyle Corbin and Shakir Paris, a familiar duo, opening the batting for the Guardians, up against Joshua Bishop. And first ball, Corbin dispatches it. Is this the innings for him? Reminiscent of what we saw in that 95 earlier this tournament.
We wait and see, but that was a wonderful cricket stroke there. Short of a length, and as we said, Nikhil, that short length is not working for the spinners. Kyle Corbin dispatches it.
Goes again, this time though in front of square. He's on the charge already, Kyle Corbin. 10 from the first 2.
So can someone tell me what that length was again? Once again, Nikhil, not reading the conditions are these spinners. It is not that type of surface where those deliveries will skid on and rush the batters. Need to be a bit fuller.
This time he is, and completely deceives him. They've got some purchase off the surface, which we haven't seen too often. But it's good skill from Bishop because he's slowed that one down a lot more. He allowed the ball to do something.
Keyword. The delivery was slower, and that hence why it actually did a bit off the surface. We've not seen any of the Guardian spinners there. We see the keeper going the wrong side as well, expecting it to arm. That is...
Tail is off, but...
Interesting. We have to wait on the replay, but again, Nikhil, that foolish length is working. At least Joshua Bishop correcting his previous errors, but again, we expect from these people someone like Bishop in the emerging team, as we see it here on the monitor.
Now the question is, did that ball brush the stumps?
It looks like it did.
It looked like it hit the stump, but the
keeper
umpires,
had
of
nothing
course,
to do with it. That's
don't have
goal.
the luxury of seeing a television replay, so they have to make the decision based on real time. Corbin is still there. He's stagnant and confident that the ball hasn't touched the stumps, but didn't see too much from the keeper.
This will be very interesting. I can tell you what, in the old time days, without the benefit of the replay, yes, the right decision has been made, but you see where that bail is, Nikhil? The bail is actually behind the stumps. That's usually the indicator that they look for. As we see Wayne in the back of us, he will know a lot about that. If you're unsure, you normally look to see where the bail is bowled. As long as you see the bail is behind the stump, more than likely, I would have to say 100% of the time, that means that the batter was bowled. If the keeper had disturbed the stumps, the bail would more than likely be forward, or at least almost adjacent to the stumps. So the right decision was made. We don't know what the process would be. We will have to ask the umpires how they came to that conclusion, or let's give umpire will be the benefit of the doubt. He saw it happen at square leg.
Well, what an over this has been, because the first 2 deliveries were absolutely dispatched, but then Joshua Bishop, with all of his experience, his club captain in Kyle Corbin, much slower 2 deliveries. The first one went past the outside edge. The second one hit the stump. And this is the type of fight that this Pelicans team is known for. It brings Shane Mosley, the left-handed, usually an opener, to the crease at number 3. And he can neutralize this threat of Bishop, who's gotten those 2 deliveries to drift as well. Much slower and allowing the ball to drift. He does get that as a left-arm spin option.
So Nikhil, put on your analyst hat. Based on the start so far, what would be the most important thing here for the Guardians? Do they try to go as hard as possible in the power play, get up to say some 45, 50, or do they, as you said, try to neutralize the attack, get up to 35 or so, and then try to finish strong in the back end? Based on the conditions, what say you?
But straight away, Shane Mosley goes. Welcome to the crease. That is some introduction, and clearly by that, they're going to keep going after it. But I think I've been surprised that Akeem Jordan didn't start with a new ball, because usually he bowls the first over and sets the tone, tends to put the opposition under a bit of pressure, takes wickets early, but even though they've got the 1 wicket, he's still gone for 16 runs. That asking rate has come down to just 11.
Yeah, I can tell you I am believing, especially in chasing this semi-final, you go hard in the power play, and then you try to cruise through the middle and the back end.
Quicker delivery, arm ball, and Bishop, he's got a bag of tricks, but balanced over for the 2 teams. The Pelicans taking 1, but the Guardians able to score 16. 102 from the remaining 9 overs, 16 for 1.
Yeah, we'll say a balance in the contest that Kyle Corbin has been destructive at points in this tournament. Getting Kyle Corbin certainly is a big wicket, but those 16 runs certainly is a good start. The Pelicans, they will have to look to claw their way back into this power play, first of all, to bring that run rate down below 10 and then create pressure all the way through the innings. But so far, the platform has been set for the Guardians, 16 for 1. So they have a lot of work to do, but they've certainly started well. As we see now, Jordan with the new ball, he will bowl the second over from this northern end. What can we expect, Nikhil?
Definitely, I just feel it has the feelings of a last over thrilling finish, because I just think these two teams, you can't separate them. The Guardians have got a really deep batting lineup, which they've shown throughout the tournament, being able to post massive scores. But the Pelicans bowling with Hakeem Jordan, who's taken the most wickets in the tournament, Bishop, who already has got one, they will provide a fight. This will be a crucial over. Starts wide, and you can see there though, naturally brings the ball back into the right hand and getting some prodigious swing in that first delivery. That will be something he has to control, Hakeem Jordan.
Yeah, what was interesting in Shakir Paris's initial movement, he was prepared to take on the onside. Hakeem Jordan does have a long on and a deep mid wicket, and going to the longest side of the boundary would Shakir Paris be. So an interesting tactic from the young man.
This time though, Shakir Paris, doesn't matter how many wickets he's taken in the tournament, if you're full in this area, he will hit you into the smaller side. And Paris has been destructive. He already has a half century from just 24 deliveries in this tournament.
Yeah, much better on that occasion. Keep your ground, young man. Yes, he's swinging it back. Wait for him to straight. There he was, a lovely shot over extra cover. Shakir Paris, he's played that stroke a couple of times in this tournament, and each time he played it, it looked majestic, and that one was equally as majestic. 6 more runs to the young man.
This time can't be point, and it's an interesting feel as well, because Hakeem Jordan naturally bringing that ball back into the right hander. He's got his 2 men outside the circle on the onside, long on, deep mid wicket, but because of that full length he bowls, it makes the margin of error, so small, because if he errs in line, Paris will hit him cleanly in the offside, which he's already done in the over. Intriguing passage of play. Pace off, but Paris goes hard, and fortune favoring the brave. Second boundary in the over.
As you said, the interesting field, the offside field is wrong, and when we say it's wrong, everyone is inside the 30-yard circle. The short-term man is up as well, so that means that Hakeem Jordan, he cannot air outside the off stump. There he was again, albeit that was slower delivery, the width was on offer, the length was on offer, and albeit that Shakir Paris didn't execute over extra cover, he still got a boundary in the offside over third man, 4 runs.
Pace off again, and this has been uncharacteristic of Jordan with the new ball, because he's more done this when he's come back for his second spell towards the back end of the innings. But realizing that Paris is going to go after this new ball, he's taken pace off these last couple of deliveries and just gone for 4 runs now in his last 3 bowled.
Well, I like how you put it into context there. We have to wait to see how he finishes off these 2 deliveries, but what he's done is he's conceded 2 boundaries, a maximum and a 4. So really and truly, the Guardians applying that pressure on even the senior statesman in this Pelicans team.
This time, wow, shot of the day from Paris. It's gone out the ground, biggest hit we've seen. It doesn't matter what side, what ground, that was 6.
Hard, high, and handsome. As we said before, he placed them majestically over that extra cover region, that extra cover region. There, this time more over cover. But I tell you what, more elevation, more power, certainly more distance. That delivery is still not back with us. There we see it on the monitor. Young Shakir Paris leaning into that full slow delivery from the experienced Hakeem Jordan, saying to him, old boy, if you get out there, I'll punish you. He certainly did. 6 more illustrious runs from the young man. He so far has been really a gem in this tournament for the Guardians. Augurs well for his career going forward. What say you now, Nikhil? At 33 for 1, 1.5 overs. Guardians leading their charge.
I tell you what, this has been a massive shock to the Pelicans, because Hakeem Jordan in this tournament, he's bowled 11 times and only once has he conceded more than 20 runs. He's gone for 17 already in 5 balls. But he's able to find that straight line to keep Paris quiet. Ends the second over. But an excellent one for the Guardians. 17 runs against the leading wicket taker. 85 from 48.
An over of errors, you have to say, from someone of the caliber of Hakeem Jordan. First of all, he does swing deliveries in. He knows the lengths that you have to bowl based on that last delivery. You hear the keeper saying, thank you, Hakeem. He did have the deep mid-wicket and the long on in. Tell me why was he bowling full deliveries outside the off stump, full slow deliveries into the slot? Certainly not to the plan. Equally punished by Shakir Paris. Credit to the young man. 33 runs to the credit of the Guardians inside 2 overs. Guardians are up for the fight.
This is just a mouth-watering affair, really, in this T10 format, because you've got 4 of the best teams now on display, and so many match winners placed in these 4 teams that it can go either way. It's so hard to predict in this short format, and it's going to be left arm spin. Mario Goodman into the attack against Shane Mosley, the left-hander. Went through him, went straight through him. We thought it would have hit the stump, but somehow misses.
Nikhil, could you remind me who the Pelicans keeper usually was? I feel like before I left, it was Shane Braffett, young man. The young man Joshua Morris is having a bit of challenges. The Mario Goodman spinning that one through the bottom pad of Shane Mosley, not being able to collect.
Jonathan Drakes has also used the gloves in the tournament, but they've gone for Morris in the last couple of games. Maybe to take some of the pressure off of the Drakes and Brathwaite, who are needed with the bat. Came a long way across, but picked out the fielder. And every time this game has gone in one direction, the momentum has swung back in the favor of the opposition. Here come the Pelicans.
Ebbing and flowing is this game. Shakir Parsons looking to take his chances on the outside. He got a very good connection as well, but he swept it straight to that man on the 45-degree angle. You couldn't want it more perfect than that. Fielder says thank you very much. 2 wickets down now. More importantly, 2 very informed batsmen from the team of the Guardians. If you see it there on the monitor, really, the Mario Goodman being gifted the wicket in the end. You have to say, nice easy catch there. It looks from Jordan. This game is ebbing and flowing, Nikhil. We certainly cannot call a winner at this stage as we see the powerful Alexander Holder coming in. And this is very, very interesting. We've had 34 runs, but we'd also have 2 wickets. The cream of the crop is being started to get into. You have to say, from the point of view of the Pelicans, this is a very interesting affair.
But it's good captaincy though from Drakes, because he could have easily said, well, left hand at the crease, I'll hold back my left arm spinner, but Goodman has been a go-to option, has bowled the 3rd over in almost all the matches that the Pelicans have played, and he backed him, and he got the right-hander Paris out, even sweeping into the smaller side. Square leg up in the circle. So Goodman striking. One thing to note as well is this Pelicans team is without Jamar Eiffel, who bowls some medium pace and can really strike it. So they have to fill the void. I think Shane Mosley will want to get back the strike though for these remaining deliveries. Left-handed option, hitting into the much smaller side, so he will back himself, but he's got to get back on strike. Just pass, could have been another wicket, but instead I'll send the holder off the mark with a boundary.
Yeah, badly line. I'll send the holder just flicking his wrist there. Not much movement of the bat at all. Very fast bat speed with those wrists. It's sped away into the boundary for 4. Mario Goodman just possibly guilty of being a bit too straight. Probably wanted to spin it from a middle and leg. On the monitor we see it way outside the off stump. Easy stuff for Alexander Holder.
Again on leg stump. Has to hurry Mosley. Gets there comfortably in the end. Interesting line though from Goodman. I think he's got away with that delivery. Similar to the one he was hit for a boundary previously, but ends up in just 1 run. Crucially though, Mosley, the left hand, is back on strike for this final delivery.
Interestingly enough though, Nikhil, I might argue that he got it spot on. He's actually taking it out of the arc of Alexander Holder. As we know, he usually likes to go long on, long off those areas. He's not really adept at sweeping and that kind of stuff. So you have to say Mario Goodman seemingly having a plan. What I like about him so far though is that length that he's willing to bowl on this surface. He's not been backing the pitch and short at all. That defensive length. He's tried to get deliveries up there. He's gotten a bit of spin. He's gotten the wicket to his reward so far. And from these 5 deliveries, he's done very, very well. Only conceding 1 boundary.
Final delivery of the over. Very quick, but the height would have been the problem. So very good over in the context of this game from Goodman. 5 runs conceded and a wicket to go with it. End of 3, 39 for 2.
Yeah, the Guardians should be still the happier of the two teams at this point. Two very accomplished batters still at the crease, and they've gotten that start that they've wanted. A bit of consolidation here possibly in this next block of 18 if they can just keep their wickets together and collect just above a run a ball or so, just about 9 runs and over, or 10 or more if they could. They certainly would be quite on stream as we see another bowling change. No, this would be very, very interesting as well, because we know Alexander Holder likes to go down the ground. He has that long off and that cover region to work with as we are away to the east here, and Jaden Edmonds sometimes has been known for a few erratic deliveries. So another interesting contest here, just 6 more deliveries in this power play. The Guardians and the Pelicans, they're really having a fight in the semi-finals.
Remember I told you this, Jamal Smith. Aaron Daly's 2 overs for me is going to be where this game is won or lost. Extra pace, but yesterday against this Guardians team, bowled some brilliant Yorkers towards the back end of the innings. This time flicked, and that is the power of Alcindor Holder. You cannot afford to miss your length. First delivery of the spell, and he's gone the distance, Jaden Edmond.
Yes, and that is the challenge that the Pelicans will have. That's the start that the Guardians have had so far. Means that every single boundary is added pressure, and it eases the equation for the Guardians. There again, young Jaden Edmond. Aaron, first delivery. Look at that, innocuous. Alexander Holder will not miss out on that. 6 runs. Bit of pressure on this Pelicans team right now. They are unable to get control in this power play. You have to say so far, Guardians doing a very, very good job in this run chase.
This time, the line is much better outside that off stump, and Alcindor Holder, I think, as you said when he first came to the crease, you want to challenge a player like that to hit more into the offside, even though he's dominant down the ground and it's a smaller side. He's so strong with anything on the body, on the legs, as he played that flick for 6 in the first delivery of the over. Good comeback though from Jaden Edmonds so far. Shane Mosley, Jamal, obviously a man that's been a Barbados Pride opener now for a number of years in the red ball format. Has played a few cameos in this tournament. What role does he play? Does he try to stay at one end, similar to what Cheyenne Brathwaite did? Or does he back the depth that they have, the Guardians?
Well, that's a very interesting question. It will be left to be seen. That's the question I posed to you earlier. How do they go about this run chase? We know that the middle period sometimes is a bit lackluster with those extra feeders being out and the teams having to rely on power to hit boundaries. I think it's positioned really for Mosley's game. He doesn't have to go too hard. They already have 46 runs to their credit, but also he doesn't want to be too slow, so he needs to be in good rhythm today.
Came down the trap, but still wide. Jaden Edmond.
I think that's a clear indication of how he's looking to play. I think he's looking to keep the momentum going and looking to score. Certainly in this power play, there's still some 3 deliveries left, and they could make the difference. As you probably rightly said, Nikhil, this could be a mouth-watering affair, certainly in terms of coming down to the last over. So Shane Mosley still looking for those scoring opportunities with the field restrictions.
And they still have batting to come, right? Sean Williams has been a revelation with his power. That's an extra bounce there, Edmond, but wide signal. So now 2 wides in consecutive deliveries. Yeah,
a bit harsh there. We have to see that on the monitor. It looked good from our position. Fielders were disappointed. They have to bowl that one over. The umpire will be pretty experienced, so we have to go with him. Obviously, getting some direction from his square leg as well in the form of Dave, the umpire. So we have to bowl that over. And we see it here on the monitor now. Yeah, probably above shoulder height.
This time he connects. Fine leg is in the circle, Mosley, so he'll capitalize, but only 2. Thought it would have run away. A bit heavy on that leg side. We've had some inclement weather throughout the week. He's trying Shane Mosley. Hasn't gone out the middle of the bat since he hit that boundary in his first delivery.
Yeah, another short delivery there from Edmond. Not looking to pitch up much, I guess, with that offside field. There's no protection out to the sweeper boundary. There's no protection in the long off region. The mid off is up as well, so he's very mindful of that, trying to utilize the surface to get out of these last 2 deliveries of the power play.
They'll look for 2 and they'll get it. Good running from the Guardians, trying to maximize this power play, and they've actually gone way past where the Pelicans were, Jamal. In the power play, they got to 37. With 1 delivery to go, they're already at 52. And even though they had that big finish, 49 from the last 3, surely there'll be some worrying Pelicans fans watching this, because this run chase is well and truly on. But 2 quick wickets, as we've seen, just stems the flow and brings the team right back into this game.
Yes, most certainly. You're absolutely correct, Nikhil.
This time he gets it. Just too short from Edmund. And Shane Mosley is not going to miss it on that a second time. Great way to end the over. 56 for 2.
Yes, and the Guardians continue, certainly in the power play, to charge after this victory target of 118. Jaden Edmund not bowling the best last over of the power play, conceding 2 boundaries and a couple sundries as well. Really, run rate is certainly up, and this really at this stage is the Guardians' game to lose. They are firmly in control at this stage. The Pelicans will have to certainly break this partnership in order to stem the tide of runs.
I like this from Shane Mosley though, because it's been smart batting, taking on a much smaller side, and he's waited on the right delivery. 17 runs have still come from that over after a few dots and ones in there, but it has been helped because of the 2 extras. So Aaron Daly now, I think, brought into the attack a bit earlier than Jonathan Drakes would have liked, but he's been forced to go to his attacking option, trying to restrict this Guardians team. Straight away, boundary. I'll send the holder. If you know this man, if you've watched local cricket in Barbados, he can be destructive on his day. What a start. 16 from 7 now.
Yes, meat and drink all there for a player of Alcindor Holder's caliber, and you rightly said, Aaron Daly's 2 overs will determine the tide of the game, and so far that first delivery not in keeping with what the Pelicans would want. Easy stuff for Alcindor Holder. 4 runs to his credit. The Guardians continue to make light work of this target at this stage.
We're going to be seeing a run out at the non-striker's end. Aaron Daly, the first we've seen of this BIM 10 tournament. Shane Mosley wandering out of his crease. Wow, that could be a game-changing moment. Controversial, but Jamal, wow.
Well, is it really controversial, Nikhil? It's in the rules, and as long as it's allowed in the rules, the bowler is well within his right to do that. And we have been educated over the last couple of years, certainly in terms of this mode of dismissal. We've seen it, certainly seen it more often. The first time we've seen it in this Dream 11 BIM T10, you'll have to say that is a lack of awareness from Shane Mosley and Aaron Daly in the semi-final, taking his options however he can. And if he can take wickets like that all day, I guess you take it. So controversial or not, Shane Mosley has to go. This game continues to ebb and flow.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed with that, the Guardians, because that partnership was slowly taking the game away. But you see there, the point that he's broken the stumps, Mosley was out of his crease. So brings Rashawn Williams to the middle, and that was the wicket that Drakes would have been looking for. How crucial could that passage of play be? Slower delivery. You're going to have to be much better than that to outsend the holder. Goes into the boundary, a couple bounces for 4.
Yes, once again a short, innocuous delivery from Aaron Daly. Away to this shorter side. A very, very easy stroke. Just some 60 meters to clear at its grace point. Easy stuff for Alcindor Holder. You have to say Aaron Daly not coming up with the goods so far for this Pelicans team. There it was. It seemed to be paced off. It looked like an off cutter, but too easy for a player of Alcindor Holder's caliber. The Guardians continue to put that pressure on the Pelicans. 64 for 3.
The asking rate for the first time in the innings has come below 10 and over. Tells you all you need to know about this dominant Guardians batting lineup. And ever since they got 16 runs from that first Joshua Bishop over, they have been extraordinary. Wanted 2 Williams, but sent back. I was going to ask you though, are you surprised that Demario Goodman, first over from that end, went for just 6 runs, but Drakes opts to go with the new bowler into the attack in Daly?
you're saying you possibly would have gone with the left hand spinner. I agree with you totally. I think that he got the wicket. He only conceded a boundary. He's not known for death bowling as well. He possibly could have snuck him back in.
I think that may have been a signal for no ball. That won't help. It's going to be a no ball. It's going to be a free hit. And look who's on strike. Alcindor Holder, 21 from 9. And a bonus delivery coming up for him. And even though they've got that wicket of Shane Mosley, if they can get 20 from this over, that could just really put them in the ascendancy of winning this game, the Guardians.
Yeah, this game ebbs and flows. Aaron Daly getting a free wicket, we have to say, on that run out. But so far not bowling well. And another bad thing in his favour, or not in his favour rather, is that Alcindor Holder, he's now back on strike. What do I bowl here after being punished for 2 boundaries so far? The run rate is up. What does Aaron Daly go to here?
He's tried slower balls, it hasn't worked. Will he go Yorker? He's done it again, and he's gone again. It's 2 run-outs in the over at the non-striker's end. This is pandemonium happening at the 3Ws Oval. Hasn't had to work for either of the wickets in the over, Daly. It's the second one that has gone via that mode of run-out. The Guardians just haven't stayed in their crease.
I just can't believe what I'm seeing. I don't think I've ever seen this 2 times. In his Rashawn Williams, he's gesticulating with his bat, but really truly he should have learned the lesson from his partner Shane Mosley. No one is obliged to you in this game. Nikhil is well within the rules. Your bat should be in the crease. We may not like it, it may not look good, but it's another wicket to the credit. And if Aaron Daly can pick up 3 wickets, he's saying why not?
Well, the key there is that it has to be the mode of run out before that arm comes over. You see there, before he loads, he's able to break the stumps. And it's got a awareness though from Daly, because he's strategic in how close he's been to the stumps. And there was a free hit delivery, remember, so it's still going to be a free hit. Demario Richards has come out to the middle, and Rashawn Williams is not happy.
He's not happy, but he has to go. It's really his error. And these are things that players need to start understanding. Take accountability for your game. You've seen Shane Mosley getting out. You see it's an unfortunate way to go. You see that the bowler is prepared to do such. You must keep your bat in the crease. You have to see the young man got it wrong. Lack of awareness. Credit to Aaron Daly. Free hit still though. Interesting ball coming up.
They've got to stay in their crease. Aaron Daly, that could be a match changing over. And this time though, Alcindor Holder, not fazed by what's going on at the other end. He's still able to find the boundary. This has been a beautiful game of cricket so far.
It's just ebbing and flowing, isn't it? What would we describe that shot? It looked like Alcindor Holder went to flick that delivery full, fast and straight. It looked like it went between the legs of Alcindor Holder, but he got good contact. There's no way the 45 would stop that. 4 more runs, 3 boundaries in this over, 2 run-out wickets. What more does this Aaron Daly over have left for us?
Well, if Holder can stay there for these next 32 deliveries, they'll win this game by a country mile. It's just that type of player, Alcindor Holder. He can single-handedly take the game away from you. Same down the ground. And wisely they stay for 1. I think he has to face the majority of deliveries now.
Yeah, most certainly. But then again, Demario Richards, he is an electrifying player. I think Guardians miss a bit of a trick with Richards as well. He's much more adept with the new ball, very dangerous inside the power play. But having said that, the batters that have gone before, they have also accredited themselves quite well inside the power play and have a history of making runs. And certainly in this T10 format, the likes of Paris and Corbin in particular doing really, really well. So we have to see how Richards will go about his business, but Alcindor Holder certainly is entrenched in this. It is now 26 from 11, so he's the danger man in the context of the rest of this chase.
Well, we felt like that over would never come to an end. It's been very eventful. 2 run-outs at the non-striker's end, but Aaron Daly still goes for 16 runs. Due to the dominance of Alcindor Holder. This game nicely poised, 72 for 4 at the halfway stage.
Yes, so we could argue about it, we can speak about the rules and the likes and the dislikes, but the thing is, it is in the rules, and therefore it is allowed. 2 wickets down, but nevertheless 16 runs. That asking rate now just 9.20. The Guardians still have this one for the taking. The Pelicans fighting back. As we see, there is another bowling change now. The experienced Joshua Bishop coming back into the attack, and no doubt these 6 deliveries will be important for the Pelicans. They need to get Alice in the holder, and they need to get him soon. And who better to turn to than Joshua Bishop, the man from the emerging players West Indies team.
He was part of that West Indies Academy team and bowled extremely well in that Super 50 Cup just about a month ago. Now the next 5 overs, you think 3 of them will come from Bishop, Jordan and Daly. It's who bowls the other 2. This could be crucial. Starts very slow. And a nice battle unfolding because it's a big risk taking pace off the ball to Alcindor Holder. If he sizes you up, Jamal, he can clear 2 or 3 fields. He's that type of player. Luckily for him, he didn't time it, so it's just 1. Could have easily carried straight to Jordan, placed that long on. And for the left-handed Richards now, you think, really take him on, left arm spinner, ball spinning in, hitting into the smaller side.
I tell you what, those first 2 deliveries from Joshua Bishop suggest to me he understands the stage this game is at. He has a bit of flight and purchase on it. He was prepared to look for Alcindor Holder's wicket, albeit that he could give up a 6, but he was attacking him. See how it goes now to Richards.
Much quicker. I think Richards though doing the right thing. They're well ahead of the game. At the halfway stage, 22 runs ahead, even though they've lost 3 additional wickets. But in this T10 format, wickets not so important. It's about the runs, and they're well ahead of where the Pelicans were. The Guardians
shouldn't be bowled out, DK. You shouldn't be bowled out. So you not never say you can't.
They do have quite a long tail though, Jamal, and I think with that Rashawn Williams wicket, a lot will come down to these 2. You look at what's to come. Romario Graves definitely can bat and really can take on bowling, but other than that, Pius Emilian, Powell, McAllister and Lynch.
Could be interesting.
So 1 or 2 wickets here, and the Pelicans right back in it. Full toss gets away with it. 3 fielders on that smaller onside boundary for Richards.
So the question now is, who does Captain Drake's turn to from that northern end, realizing that they need a wicket to break this partnership, certainly to get us in the holder? Do you go back to the likes of Demario Goodman? Based on what you're seeing here, Bishop was prepared in that over to slow up deliveries. He looked for the wicket of Alcindor Holder, and also he did not concede a boundary in this over, possibly the only boundary so far of the innings that a boundary was not conceded. So the question is now, if you're a Captain Drakes, do you go for a defending holding over, or do you try to remove the dangerous Alcindor Holder at this stage of the game to expose that tail that we were spoken of? Not saying they're rabbits, but they're not certainly people that can push the game and press the issue. The Guardians still in control, but the Pelicans just clawing their way back ever so slight. And I think I have to agree with you, Nikhil. We could very, very well see a last over encounter with a bit of runs in the bank. Asking rate now 10.5. It's just crept up just a bit on from that very good over. And here we see the master stroke. This is the last draw here, Nikhil, certainly in terms of breaking this partnership and looking for a wicket, trying to take control of this game with the reintroduction of Demario Goodman.
This is make or break, I think, for the Pelicans. Left hand at the crease, ball spinning into him.
They want Alcindor Holder, I can tell you that. They want him. They need him, actually. The Guardians, they need Alcindor Holder to remain there. So he is the linchpin. He is the cog in this wheel for the Guardians. Very interesting to see how Demario Goodman goes about this next block of 6 deliveries.
Long off and long on in place for Richards. Starts with a short wide delivery. That's a big risk, I think. Exposing the offside. He just has cover square on the offside. All of his other boundary riders, other than long off, are on the leg side. Picks him up, but just be a single. And all of a sudden, that last over went for just 4. Now they've only scored 1 run from the first 2 deliveries. So that's just 5 runs from the last 7. The asking rate is slowly creeping now. to above 11 and over.
4 interesting deliveries left, Nikhil. What does the Mario Goodman do? Does he go for his man? Alcindor Holder will certainly be looking to take him on. Or does he try to close out this over defensively and let the pressure build?
He goes full. And you cannot go full to Alcindor Holder. This man is single-handedly taking the Guardians to the final.
Yes. One bad error there was it was a bit of flight on it, but it was too straight. It was the leg side. It was asking to be hit over to that 60-meter boundary. Poor ball in there from the Mario Goodman. He have to try to close out this over well. There was just a hint of pressure building, but he just released that pressure. Alcindor Holder obliging 6 more runs to the total.
Track, but wisely keeps it out. He knows Holden now that his wicket is so important. That will put some added pressure on him as well, because if he is dismissed here, 35 from 18 balls is a challenge for a new batter at the crease. And you look back on this, the Guardians, if they don't get over the line, and think about those 2 run-outs from Aaron Daly's over, 2 of their experienced players as well in Mosley and Williams. Excellently bowled, and it's just going to be a single. Holder will retain the strike, but still, it is just 8 runs from this over and 12 from the last 2. Could that be the pivotal 2 overs that the Pelicans needed to win this game? 84 for 4.
That's the beauty about this T10 format, this Dream 11 BIM T10. That's the beauty about this game. There's not much time to recover from both ends. There the Pelicans being able to sneak into relatively good overs, and all of a sudden we have an asking rate back in the double digits, and we've seen a couple games before that the batting side seemed to be in control of, and then a slip here and there, and all of a sudden we want 12 in the last over and you're not able to get home. So much to play for now.
It's an enticing game of cricket unfolding, and so happy to be able to bring this tournament globally. Friends watching in India, watching in the United States and Canada. Jaden Edmund into the attack. Goes full, looks for the Yorker, but it's very straight. Not straight enough to find the boundary though, Holder. Interesting decision from Captain Drakes to go for Edmund at this stage, because he's got an over from Daly and Jordan. If this one goes for about 20, it would bring things down highly in the favor of the Guardians.
Yeah, rolling the dice here. He wants to finish with his 2 experienced campaigners. Who can blame him? He's asking the young man to close out this over for less than 10 runs. He believes he's capable enough. We'll see what Alcindor Holder has to say about that.
Went slower ball, and this has been a brilliant start to the over. Just 1 run, sorry, 2 runs from the first 2.
Be careful with your superlatives, Nikhil. Brilliant in the context of 6 balls in this T10. Can be very, very interesting. Just 2 boundaries needed really to put that pressure back onto the Pelicans. So Alcindor Holder has 4 deliveries to try to find the boundary. Young Jaden Edmund has 4 deliveries to try to defend this total. Very, very interesting prospect indeed.
This time he gets him. That could be the winning moment for the Pelicans, and it's the young man Jaden Edmund who celebrates. Unbelievable. Over 3 deliveries, 2 runs and a wicket, and the crucial one of Holder.
The Pelicans are perched on the rock now with Alcindor Holder. All they need now to do is take flight, Nikhil, and soar all the way into the finals. Alcindor Holder, that is a big, big, big blow. You can see the exuberance from their celebrations. They know that he was the man. They believe that he was the key man. And now we have a very, very, very interesting prospect here. That run rate creeping up ever so slightly, ball by ball. Young Jaden Edmund producing that full fast delivery. Leg pull disturbed. And all of a sudden, the Pelicans are clawing their way back into this contest.
It was a brilliant celebration as well, because you just knew the pressure that would have been on Jaden Edmund. But this game is not over yet. 12, just about 13 runs per over needed. Romario Graves, he can strike it a long way. More than capable, so he comes to the middle.
Where's your money, Nikhil? Where's your money?
No, hard to say. Very hard to say in this format.
I keep my money in my pocket, I can tell you that.
So Edmund What an over this has been. Can he finish it? Bit of extra pressure. And he's got third in the circle as well. And fine legs, so can't afford to be too full. Probably will go into the pitch based on the 3 fielders he has deep on the onside. Two and two. It's 2-2 for Edmund. What a Yorker. Scintillating stuff from the youngster.
This is turning out to be a wonderful over from the young man. We question whether or not Captain Drakes has gotten it right. And so far, those 4 deliveries in this over, you have to say Captain Drakes, he got it spot on. Another searing delivery there, full, straight and fast, cannoning in to the middle of the off stump of Mario Graves. He will take no further part today. The Pelicans continue to mount the pressure on this Guardians team. Wickets down, 7 wickets down now. There we see it on the monitor. Middle of the North Pole disturbed. Nikhil, the Pelicans are getting closer to the promised land.
What a game this has been, and it's completely changed. Just take you back to that 4th over, the start of the 4th over, Jamal. They were 60 for 2 since just 26 runs, and they've lost 4 wickets. Similar to what we saw in that first innings where the Pelicans were dominant, then they lost 4 quick wickets in 2 overs, and the game changed. They were 1 point going at 15 runs and over, but it's been a superb comeback. And Jaden Edmund, many would have looked to Akeem Jordan and Daly to close this out, but the young man has put his hand up and has delivered 2 brilliant deliveries, full at the stumps. You miss, I hit.
What I love most about this T20 format, Nikhil, is that there's value in every single delivery. There's value in every dot ball, value in every wicket, and value in every single boundary.
32 from 14. It's very straight, but he doesn't get enough on it to go to the boundary, so it'll just be 2 runs. This is turning out to be a masterful over, but also let's look at the 2 before this. Bishop and Goodman, the 2 left-arm spinners, just conceding 12 runs leading up to this over. And
they were also prepared to spin the ball and with a bit of flight. Remember I told you earlier on this surface, you can't be back on that defensive defensive length. They've gotten it right so far.
Way down the leg side and will be a wide, so that won't help. How much do you think they'll need in the last 2 overs, the Pelicans, to feel safe about Jordan and Daly defending?
They certainly need in excess of 25. So it's very important that Jaden Edmund closes out this delivery with about 28, 20, 29 if they can, runs to defend. You know, that's a very, very big ask. Someone has to strike some long boundaries.
Excellent slower delivery and well disguised, but more importantly, what an over that's been from Jaden Edmund, the young man stepping up under pressure. And it's just 6 runs and 2 wickets in consecutive deliveries from the over. 28 from the last 2 if the Guardians want to be in tomorrow's grand finale.
Champion stuff from the least likely of this team attack. Young Jaden Edmund turning up and showing his counterparts how it's to be done, getting 2 crucial wickets, particularly the wicket of Alcin, the holder, who was going along nicely. His 37 came from 22 deliveries, but he had to depart due to a very good Yorker length delivery. So, interesting prospect. 28 to defend in 12.
And McAllister's still to come. He can strike it. I've seen him strike a few big maximums. Interesting though that they've gone for Daly. I think because of the ends. Daly's bowled predominantly from that end, the southern end, and Jordan is bowled from the northern. So 28 from 2 overs. Jonathan Drake's just asking Daly to stop. Wants to get the field right. He's got 4 actually deep on the onside. But just the 1 field at deep cover. Mid-off is in the circle, so that option down the ground could be viable for Jamali Lynch. He picks him up. Has he got enough on it? No, he hasn't. And it finds safe pair of hands. Akeem Jordan. That could be it for the Guardians.
Well, based on the finish from Jamali Lynch, we thought that it would be disappearing into the shock trees, albeit he could only find Akeem Jordan some 4 or 5 meters within the boundary. He made a bit of a meal of it, but he recovered well still. He bobbled it once or twice, but he got it in his hands, and another wicket has fallen. Question here now is, will the Pelicans close this out even inside of 10 overs, because there's a very, very real chance right now of the Guardians being bowled out. Mario Richards, he's still there as well, but he's not struck a boundary as yet. The pressure really mounting now on the Guardians.
Great to see Jordan taking that catch in front of some crowd as well, in watching this enticing, exciting semi-final affair. And we still have another one coming your way, the Settlers and the Warriors, coming up later today. But first, these 11 deliveries. And you think at this stage, it looks very much in the favor of the Pelicans, but as we've seen with this game of cricket, you just cannot write off one team.
Yeah, ebbs and it flows.
Peeled off the outside edge, but it will be safe. And a couple of runs for Powell. I think if they can get this some way down to less than 20, that's sloppy cricket to get back for 3. If they can get it less than 20 for the final over, a few maximums and you're well within striking distance of winning the game, but that's going to be a mountainous task with 25 needed from 10.
The question is, who will strike those maximums? The only person really that can do that is the man on screen, the Mario Richards. He has to find it within himself to strike 2 boundaries at least off this Aaron Daly over in order for the Guardians to get close or over the line. They need to get over the line. This is a semi-final. This is not for points, no, Nikhil. This is for glory. Guardians, a lot to do.
Another big swing and a miss, but wide signaled. Daly, I think, will be disappointed because I thought he executed that wide Yorker well enough. What a turnaround it's been, though, for the Pelicans in this tournament. One stage, lost 3 on the bounce, and many thought that was it for them. But then won 4 games in a row to get to this semi-final spot, and could very well be in tomorrow's final as well.
Yeah, we always speak to momentum and consistent momentum at the right time, and the Pelicans certainly have seemed to do that. Still have to close out this game, though. It's not over yet.
Don't mind that if you're the Pelicans. Once it doesn't go to the boundary, you take that and actually sent back. Wisely so, because it would have probably been run out had Powell gone back. So just 1 run.
Beautiful intercept and throw there from Captain Drake. So just something I've noticed, he's actually doing a long on to long on, or long off to long off. He understands the importance of that fielding position. He's prepared to put in the hard yards for his team and then be in a straight position to take that catch, or in that instance to cut the angle and restrict the flow of runs.
Wondered how much psychological advantage it would have been for the Pelicans beating this Guardians team yesterday by 10 wickets in dominant affair. And they could very well be doing it again. Just another single, and those are golden at this stage for the Pelicans.
Yes, another single, another good delivery from Aaron Daly. Learned his mistakes from his previous over where he conceded 3 boundaries from 2 short deliveries and 1 where we're down the leg side. He's really, so far in this over, been bowling well. Still 2 deliveries left. This is the battle, Richards and Daly. Daly possibly looking for another run out.
He's flirted with that, Aaron Daly, but he's already got 2 via that mode of dismissal. So just warning Mikhail Powell. 22 from 8, and remember, Akeem Jordan, who's been the tournament leading wicket taker, will bowl the final 6 deliveries. It's going to make it such a tough task. Slower delivery, but it's hit well, back down the ground, and here we go again. Another twist to the tail. Less than 20 required. Still 1 delivery to go.
Yes, the Mario Richards is a good striker of the ball. There he was, standing tall and sending that delivery down the ground. The question now is, Nikhil, does he look for the single or does he look for another boundary and trust his partner to get him on strike to try to finish the game? Left to be seen. I believe he has to go for that boundary and back his partner. 1 delivery left from Aaron Daly.
He played an innings of 16 not out Richards against the Warriors and helped his team chase. But this is a much more difficult task if they're to get over the line. The 100 just comes up. And after there were 72 runs from 5, many would have thought this game was well and all done and dusted, But 1 wicket, actually 2 in that 5th over, just allowed them to get right back into this game, the Pelicans. He goes again, this time 4 more. Here we go. This game is on. It's going to be 14 from the last over. And Richards finishing with 2 boundaries.
But you called it, didn't you, Nikhil? You said it would be a mouth-watering affair. You said it would go down till the last over. There's something within reach for these batters, particularly if the Mario Richards can get back on strike. There he was, outfoxing Aaron Daly, going across his wicket and wiping that one through the square leg region, the vacant square leg region. We call that high percentage batting, Nikhil, and he's still making a fist of it. Very interesting contest. Akeem Jordan, the experienced statesman, the trusted statesman of this Pelicans team, he'd be entrusted to get them over the line, but Richards and Powell will have their say in the matter. 6 deliveries left.
Well, to tell you about this contest, Akeem Jordan has only conceded 20 runs from his 2 overs once in the tournament. He's bowled 11 times, and he's also got 15 wickets. This is not going to be easy by any means. They have to find the boundary at least twice. Now, does Powell go for the boundary, or does he look for one to get Richards back on strike?
He needs to get Richards back on strike. Richards is now clearly getting into stride. Powell may strike a boundary or 2, but certainly not as consistent as the left-handed Richards. So it's really simple. Get off strike, give Mario Richards 5 balls to finish the game.
14 from 6. A finals place on the line. First ever Dream 11 BIM 10 finals coming up tomorrow. Both these teams will want to be there desperately. Just cannot think this game is over. 6 deliveries, here we go. Starts extremely well. They're coming back for 2. Interesting. Thought Richards would want to face as many deliveries as possible, but he's given the strike back to Powell. 12 from 5. Yeah,
that's very interesting. I thought they were setting for the single, and Mario Richards would back himself to hit boundaries to the shortest side. I sometimes wonder about his thought process. He's a very young player still learning his craft. I think he got that one wrong, but left to be seen. 5 deliveries left.
Maybe he knows something we don't. Can Mikhail Powell, if he finds a maximum now, just 6 from 4, all of a sudden many will think the game is in the favor of the Guardians. Bringing an extra man into the onside, Jordan, and he has mid-on. No, mid-on will be in long-on position, so 3 deep on the onside, as well as a deep cover and long off on the offside. Can Powell find the boundary? Sizes him up! Wow! That is a huge hit from Mikhail Powell! And Akeem Jordan can't believe it. It's clear the pavilion, and it's now 6 from 4.
Well, what do we know? Clearly, Richards knew something that we didn't, and Powell certainly did. And I can tell you the only person that didn't know was Akeem Jordan. That was a full delivery in the slot, ill-advised. It got the treatment. There it was. He didn't even have to clear his left leg. Everything was cleared for him. Deposited into the Florida balcony for 6. And what have we here now?
Really surprised that Jordan searched for that full delivery, because he has been so effective into the pitch. Have a low order bat at the crease, hitting into a much bigger side, but instead just in the arc of Mikhail Powell. But still, this game is not over. As we've seen from ball number 1, this has ebbed and flowed brilliantly. He brings up deep deep backward square into the circle, and he sends back another fielder in the offside. So does he look for the wide Yorker? Crucially, 3rd is in the circle. So he's got deep backward point, which is an orthodox field position, really. Deep cover and long off. This could go either way. 6 from 4. What a game of cricket. Really and truly, this deserves to have both these teams winners, but that is not the game of cricket. There can only be one.
I can tell you something. The equation now is back into the favor of the Guardians. 4 deliveries left. The pressure really is mounted on the Pelicans team, and you know it's mounted. They're taking forever to get their plans right. That ball as well was struck so hard it seems that they had to change it. So Jordan, he's under pressure. The Guardians already happy aside with 4 deliveries left. He will have to bowl some beautiful combat deliveries in order to get the Pelicans over the line. A real rank volley there. It was in the slot. Nikhil, I tell you what, me or you possibly could have struck that for 6 as well. That was a gift. Pelicans are really and truly under pressure.
6 from 4. Who would have thought? When they lost, I'll send the holder. And then on the very next delivery, Romario Graves in the 8th over. Everyone would have thought this game was over, but Demario Richards has held his nerve. Those last 2 boundaries of the final 2 deliveries of the penultimate over, just so crucial to get that required runs to under 20, and then 1 maximum and you're right there. 6 from 4, and surely the Guardians game to win. It's in the gap as well, but they're going to come back for 2, a misfield. That's what pressure does. 4 from 3.
Interestingly enough, that was a bad misfield as well from the young man. It looks like the young left-arm orthodox spinner.
Tremaine Dowrich.
Is he in the playing
on a sub fielder?
Okay. Sub 4. I haven't seen Braffett. Is Braffett on the field? I haven't seen him. Oh, there he is.
4 from 3. 1 boundary away now, the Guardians. That's it! The Guardians are into the final. Mikhail Powell has done it. From nowhere, the Guardians have snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. What a game of cricket we've just witnessed.
I am speechless. That was a wonderful cricket shot from Mikhail Powell. Again, a full delivery in the slot and swatted over that cover region. Miles away, probably some 90 meters for 6, and the Guardians are jubilant, and why not? That was a wonderful victory there at the end. They stuttered a bit in that middle period, but guess what? They had just enough gas left. They had just enough impetus left. Mikhail Powell says, thank you very much, Akeem Jordan. Thank you for those 2 gifts. I will deposit them for 6. Guardians in the final.
That may be the best game of cricket we've seen in this BIM 10. And what a time as well in the semi-final. There can only be 1 winner, but really and truly, you can say both those teams deserve to be in the final. Mouth-watering affair. In the end, the Guardians winning by 3 wickets, and all set up by a match-winning 37 from Alcindor Holder, but 20 from 6 deliveries from Mikhail Powell, and getting to that 120 required for victory. The bowling from the Pelicans, well, Akeem Jordan, who's been their main man throughout the tournament, 15 wickets today, went the distance, 33 runs conceded in 10 deliveries bowled. 2 wickets though for Jaden Edmond. They thought the game was won there. 1 apiece as well for Bishop, Goodman and Daly, but not enough. In the end, a great game of cricket and a great poster of entertainment for this BIM 10 tournament. And if you love that, well, you're going to love even more come 2:30 p.m., just about 30 minutes away, where we have semi-final number 2, the Settlers taking on the Warriors. It's goodbye for now.